Matt Simon, a long time. Haven't seen you in what, 10 years?
I was looking before. I think it was actually, so I think the interview we did was like 2009.
Wow.
And then I don't know if we ran into each other at some point after that. I know we did talk after that, but yeah, it's possible it's been that long.
Yeah. Wow. 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 Yeah, we first hooked up with Matt Ronick or Ronick from
Yep.
New Dover Methodist Church. So when did you actually know you had a gift for singing?
Uh, I don't know when I knew that I had a gift. I started when I was super, super young. It was just always something I was passionate about and enjoyed. Um, and I think I've consistently just chased that,
Right.
as much as I can incorporate that into my life it's a good thing. So, I don't know about gift. That's for somebody else to determine.
So you're enjoying it and having fun with everything?
I am. Yeah. Yeah, I really am. I've had a relatively long layoff in putting music out there. I mean, never stopping
Right.
writing and all of that. But it's been a really long time since I've really been back into recording and releasing and playing. So yeah, I'm having fun slowly getting back into it.
Cool, cool. I know around 10 years ago, you put out your first song at the Edge,
Mhm.
right? And how'd that go?
Yeah, that was great. That was something that kind of happened out of nowhere. You and I go back to when I was in
Right,
Downcast Theory a long time ago.
right,
And coming out of that band, I did not really have a solo plan in mind.
right,
I'd written the song and was just kind of sitting on it, and a project came up to just throw a few singles on a demo to hand out at some shows. I forget the
right.
context of why.
Yeah,
Um, and so just kind of had an opportunity to do it. And it seems like it's a song that's resonated. It's still one that comes up, in conversation with people. So it's a good first solo song to have out there.
right. Was there CDs back then, or still cassettes,
I think, I don't think I ever put that one on a CD, although that was definitely still the vibe at the time. I think I put that out in probably yeah, it was probably like 2012-ish or something like that.
uh,
So I don't think I ever printed that one, but we were still in that era.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell me a little bit about Drifting Figures.
Yeah, so Drifting Figure so I spent the first few years of the 2010s working in music, running shows, and a few other things, and had met a guy, Zach, through another band that he was in at the time. And both of us, just seemingly at the same time, were um, really looking for an opportunity to get out and play again, and looking, for people to write with that we just enjoyed, spending time with. And so we decided, let's try one demo and see if there is any kind of writing chemistry.
Right,
If there is, we'll kind of move forward, and if not, no big deal. And the lead single that was off the EP we did, "Stranger," was the first thing he and I had ever tried to work on, and we kind of knew right away it was something worth pursuing. So we put out that EP in, I think, 2016,
uh-huh.
or late 2015, and really up until COVID, we were a band out, playing and writing and all that good stuff.
Oh, cool. Tell me about practicing in the garage.
Yeah, so you know what? As a singer, I'm always looking to take advantage of good acoustics. So
Right, yeah.
the garage is the best place. The cement floor, the high ceilings. It's everything I could ever want for a little extra reverb to help my voice along. So
Cool,
yeah,
cool.
so it's always a fun spot to escape for 30 seconds at a time.
Right, yeah. I mean, I know actually some bands that released stuff that was in the restroom at home,
Yeah.
because they said
Yep.
it's great,
Yep.
the acoustics is perfect for that, the sound
Yep.
you want.
Exactly.
So tell me about the song Awake.
So I'm awake.
Yeah. Is there a song Awake?
No.
No? Okay, because I got a song away. Anyway, we'll pass that one. Tell me a little bit about Pull Me Under, the EP.
So that EP is going to come out sometime this year. Everything's tracked and mostly mixed. I put out the first single from that EP, "Reach the End," back on December 20th.
Right,
Response has been really positive. It's been really exciting. It's going to be a 4-song EP. And I'll kind of release them a song at a time, and then put a comprehensive EP out at the very end of it. But um, largely the writing of that record is stuff I went through back in 2023,
right.
and then spent all of 2024 writing and recording and fine tuning, with the exception of the title track "Pull Me Under." That chorus is actually like 6 or 7 years old.
Wow.
Just something I've kind of sat on, and it kind of came together. So I'm excited to put it out. I'm excited to play the material out. That's definitely a plan for this year. Something I haven't done in a long time. Yeah, it's exciting.
Definitely. I mean, Reach the End really caught my ear when I was flipping through Facebook, and I said, I think I know that dude, you know? Right? And so I had to do a double take because, like, back in the day, younger and different style body structure and everything
Yep.
else. You always had your hat on backwards and like
Yep.
that kind of stuff. So, so when you put this out, are you looking for a label, or you want to do it independently, or you want to go to a small label, or it don't matter?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's honestly a part of the process that I don't really give much thought to anymore, especially as this is not something I do, with all of my time as much as I would like to.
Right.
I think the priority is to write music that I love and would want to listen to, and get a chance to get that music out and see how people feel about it.
Right.
And get out and play a little bit. And if it garners great attention, that's great. And if it doesn't, that's okay, because it's still music that's important to me, and that's why I did it in the first place. So I don't give that much thought to that sort of thing anymore, really.
Now you said you had 4 tracks coming up. Can you tell me about each song and what the feeling are towards you?
Yeah, so Reach the End, which is the one that went out in December. Um, you know, I I have this thing. I don't get overly specific on the subject matter, in part just because I think what's really beautiful about music and art in general is every consumer of it has their own connection to it. So
Right.
like if 100 people listen to a song, they may have 100 different takes on what it's about, and what it means and things of that nature. But I think at a high level, I mean, Reach the End is clearly about um, about eh, you know watching people pretend to be something that they're not, and they can put on as big of a show as they want,
Right.
for the people around them. But people see who you truly are and what you're about,
Right.
for better and for worse.
Uh-huh.
um so that was kind of the beginning of that.
Right.
um uh, then the next single out will be a song called "Chained and Shackled." I think stylistically is going to be very much a throwback to kind of like the Downcast Theory era of my life, just kind of like a straight driving hard rock tune.
Right.
Just written with
Mhm.
10 years, so 15 years more experience in songwriting.
Right. Yeah.
Um, uh, and One of You will be the third single, which will probably be out sometime in the spring.
Uh-huh.
And that one's just about, not, still trying to find your place in the
Right.
world, even at,
Yeah.
in your mid 30s. And then Pull Me Under will be the last that'll be released as part of that EP. And that one's really about, struggling with, mental health struggles. I've been fortunate to not go through anything incredibly difficult from a mental health perspective, but have certainly had, my bouts with some
Right.
trouble along the way. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, so it's kind of the high levels on what those would be like. And I think each song has its own place stylistically. Obviously, that connective tissue is there with I'm singing on all of it. I'm one of the writers for it. The writing team was consistent across. But I think each of them will kind of stand out on their own, which I'm kind of excited about too.
Cool, cool. Now, a lot of bands are putting stuff out as singles only, no more albums or no more, full lengths and stuff. What's the reasoning behind that?
So I think yeah. So my perspective on it is in part I'm doing it that way more as like I don't get to do this that often anymore.
Right.
So I like the idea of kind of taking my time with it and enjoying each song for what it is
Uh-huh.
before releasing it as a whole. I still am a believer in an ideal world that the best artists and the best bands are putting out full records.
Right.
And I think that is evident in the biggest artists on the planet, regardless of genre.
Right.
Ultimately they are putting out full
Right. Yeah.
records, despite that kind of like seeming like single nature that we're kind of in.
Right.
I think the best, still go for that, 10 to 12 tracks and do it
Right.
right. So in an ideal world I'd love to do it that way.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
Now, is this EP going to have all four tracks, and you have in mind what the cover would look like?
So it'll be all four tracks. No additional throw-ins, so I'll release the four as singles and then just have an EP version for people.
Uh-huh.
Artwork is done. Danielle Spolstra is the graphic artist. She did a tremendous job on the artwork. It's all hand drawn.
Right.
And as the singles come out, they all are a variation of what is ultimately the final
Right.
piece of art.
Uh-huh.
So with Reach the End, you've kind of seen a glimpse of kind of what it will be like.
Right.
But when that full EP is out, that full artwork that she designed
Right.
will be out, and it's I'm super excited for people to see it.
Cool, cool. Now, can people like pre-order that, or is it all going to be download, or how are you going to work that?
So it'll all be one at a time. There won't be, I think for other singles along the way, there may be a pre-order component to it. Reach the End was kind of a straight up like, hey, it's out on the 20th, it drops on the 20th.
Right.
For the EP version, there may be kind of a little bit of a lag with a pre-order for that final track.
Right.
But that's still to be determined. And it'll be available anywhere you stream.
Cool, cool. And what bands do you listen to now, and like, what's your favorite song besides your own?
It's a great question. I do love listening to my own material. I think
Uh-huh.
that's important as an artist.
Yeah.
So some of the bands I'm really into right now are Dayseeker.
Uh-huh.
Sleep Token is a huge one, which it
Right.
feels like everybody in the rock and metal space. Sleep Token is the answer right now.
Right.
They're just on another plane from everybody else. Um, but yeah, Dayseeker, Sleep Token, those are the really big ones now. And then I'm still from way back, still a huge Seven Dust fan. That's always been my go-to since I first started writing songs
Cool, cool, cool.
way longer
Now,
ago than I'll even put a year on.
cool, cool, cool. Now, reading a little bit about you, you support National Domestic Violence Hotline.
hmm Yeah, so there's a few different organizations that I've always supported and like to support. Birthday comes around and it's a good time on Facebook to just like add a little attention to it. So I've known people over the years throughout my life that have dealt with issues with domestic violence. And that was just a cause that I wanted to draw a little attention to this time around. In previous years, it's been for multiple sclerosis, um, No Kid Hungry, which is about food inequity. So just trying to like use those little opportunities to draw attention to organizations that are doing great work.
Cool, cool. Do you have any personal goal for this release coming up?
I think the goal is not so much the release in particular, but what I do with it. It's been a very long time since I've been on stage consistently with a band, performing the material that I'm writing and putting out. And so I think that's really my ultimate goal for this year is to be able to actually get out and perform it and play it along with a couple of singles I put out during COVID, Coming for You and Bloodline. So that's really the ultimate goal. And then beyond that for the EP itself and the release, I just want people to enjoy it. And I don't care if that's 5 people or 50 people or,
Right.
however many more. I just, if it can resonate with somebody, that's always the goal as a songwriter.
Cool, cool. Would you love it if that came out on vinyl?
That would be cool. I would enjoy that. I much like seemingly everybody else these days. I do have the vinyl player again. And this band's doing a lot of fun stuff with the vinyl releases and the different prints. So it certainly would be fun to do. I'm not against it.
Cool, cool, cool. So what would a dream come true for you be? I mean, you got a family, you got kids. What's
Mhm.
the dream for you?
You know, I think the dream has evolved over time. There's certainly a part of me that would love to be a songwriter and a performer on a more, regular career oriented basis. I don't know how realistic that is, but that's still kind of an ultimate dream. I think the variation of that dream at this point is just to consistently scratch that itch of writing and recording and putting out music that I think is meaningful and good, and work with great people. I love the guys that I write with and record with, and that brings me a lot of happiness and fulfillment. And that's part of the dream now is making sure it has a meaningful place in my life still, even if it's not the only, even if it's not a career. I want it to have a meaningful place.
Cool, cool. And can you mention anything about your band members, who they are?
Yeah. So, and I don't know that I would even call them band members. It's not kind of a formal arranged group, but Kurt Wobenhorst is a guy. He's in a band called 100,000, an excellent prog band in New Jersey. He plays drums for them, but he plays every instrument imaginable. And he and I have known each other back since I was in Downcast Theory. We met, along the way. And he's really been involved in anything I've written and or released since that time.
Uh,
So he and I really do the core songwriting on all of this stuff.
right.
And then Shane Stanton is an excellent producer, engineer, mix engineer. He works out of Glower Studios in Boonton, New Jersey. It's his studio, and he's as an instrumentalist, he's a drummer, but just a fantastic engineer. He's doing awesome work across a ton of different genres right now. And so he engineered the record, and mixed, and is definitely a core component of, you know what is ultimately what everybody's hearing when these songs are released.
Right.
He plays a huge part in that production, and kind of encapsulating that final sound that I'm kind of looking for through all this.
Right, right. Do you play the guitar or anything, or just vocals?
So I'm not playing on the record. I certainly still play, and use it. I always say I'm not a guitar player. I play guitar to, help, write music.
Right.
But I leave the actual recorded guitar playing to Kurt and others that are slightly more talented than I am.
Cool, cool. What was the last concert you attended?
Ooh, that's a great question. I went to, so actually the last concert was a first for me. I went to Mitchell Tenpenny, who's a country artist. Somebody I got into earlier this year, just by chance, because he was featured on a rock record that I really liked. And he's a great songwriter and a great vocalist and an excellent guitar player, actually. So I saw him at Starland Ballroom in New Jersey in November. So that was my last one. Was a country record, country artist for the first time.
Cool, cool, cool. So, what does your family think about you following your dream?
Yeah, I mean, music has always been a part of all of our lives. So that support has always been there. That encouragement's always been there. Um, it's yeah, it's music's kind of foundational for
Uh-huh.
all of us.
Right.
Immediate family, extended family included. It's always been a core part of everybody's life. So that support's always been there, which is I'm super grateful for. It's great to have that kind of support.
Cool, cool. So, you're definitely thinking about doing some live shows?
Yeah, that's the plan. So, at least to get the year going, I'm just doing some open mics just to get some rust off and play a couple of these songs out and start to get a feel for what people think. And I did one of them a couple weeks ago. First time I played in New Jersey in years,
Wow,
actually. So it was nice to be back and doing that. So that's kind of the short-term goal for the early part of the year. It's just some open mics and just get more comfortable and get some feedback. And then I think for the back half of the year, the goal would be to put together a group of guys, which would surely include somebody like Kurt, to at least do a show or two, just to actually let these songs have a chance to be, played the way they're intended to be played.
excellent, excellent. Well, Matt, it's great talking to you. A long time, haven't talked and stuff like that. Congratulations on Reach the End. Everybody go check it out. I guess it's on your Facebook page and maybe YouTube. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so if you go, yeah, so anywhere you stream your music, Matt Simon Reach the End. On Instagram, I'm Matt Simon underscore, and I'm always posting there about new material that's coming out and garage videos and things of that nature.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, Brian, it's great to catch up. It's been a long time. It's great to see you.
cool, cool. You like to say anything to the fans out there?
No, just anybody that's listening, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Cool, cool. Thanks a lot, Matt.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
Talk to you later. Bye bye.